we go. Here we go.
Hi.
Sophia.
Hi.
Hi, Sophia. Thomasdotter.
Yes.
I am so privileged, actually, to be talking to you today. And just so that everybody can say, like I've been saying all week, I have invited people on this week-long launch of inspirational, inspiring people to build their confidence. And I am inviting people here who have inspired me. And we met each other a long time ago, a few years ago. We were working together in the Copper Hill Hotel.
Yes.
And I don't know, somehow we connected and we stayed in touch, didn't we? We actually did sort of send a few messages back and forth to each other. And then Sophia then had, a few years ago, I don't know how long it was, and I've only been following this on Facebook. You had a stroke.
November 2020, yeah.
November 2020, you had a stroke.
Yeah.
And you put your journey on Facebook about that. But then you went and wrote a book. And the book is called I'm Dying to Live, So Please Love Me. Now you've sent that. I got goosebumps now. Got goosebumps.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
The thing is that I actually wrote 3 books.
You wrote 3 books. Okay. This is the one that I have.
Yeah.
This is the one I have. And I read this book as well. And it actually gave me a light bulb moment, because then I think, now I understand the person you are. When I met you, what I got from you was this tough exterior, dynamic woman who actually knew what she wanted and knew where she was going.
Yeah.
But when I read the book, I realized there was a bit of a mask going on there, wasn't it? There was a bit of a hiding behind that tough exterior. So I couldn't believe it. I cried when I was reading the first part of that book as well. So for everybody, it's a hard one. It is a difficult one. So let's start from the beginning. And where did it all start for you?
Well, the thing is that I actually thought it started with my self-destructive journey when I was about 13. But I realized now, when I'm grown up, that it started when I was so much younger, just a couple of years. In the beginning, I had a doctor. I only have 1 kidney because I had big troubles with my urine infections since I was 6 months until I was 18. And I had the same doctor until I was 16. And the way he treated me was not the way you should be treat child at all. And all the trauma that I experienced, I locked it. So my brain didn't function and I couldn't remember it at all. And I didn't remember what happened after that until actually we moved from a bigger town to a smaller town, and I started school at that moment. I thought I could only remember until I was 12 and a half, but I didn't want to remember what happened before that until.
And that's because of the trauma, because he'd abused you for many years.
Yeah.
And it says
the brain is so cool, because everything that happens with your body and with the brain, I mean, all the signals comes from the brain. It's like a computer, and everything from the body, every movement you got, everything comes from the brain. And for the brain helps the body to live, all the time, and to spirit it from difficulties. It shuts off several signals and hides things that you don't need at the moment. And for me, it was to survive. I needed to do this because otherwise I wouldn't be here today. And when my brain and my body was ready to take on all this, I started to remember what happened. And when my brain and my body knows that it can cope with what happened, and that I can take care of it and get through it, I got access to it. And before that I didn't. And I've done several journeys, and got help from many people to help myself, and with my thoughts and my feelings, and because of other things in life. And you gotta help me. Because of the stroke, I'm a bit slow sometimes.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
You're doing really well. You're doing absolutely well. So you what you're saying there then is that you had this abuse from this doctor, and as a child then you blocked it out, which is what happens when a child has had a trauma in their life. Then they will. I knew this would happen. My stepson is just ringing me now. It's fine. I'm just going to tell him to go away a second. And so that as a child, then you will block it out. It's childhood trauma, and then it will come out in a different way, won't it? So that's what
now I know why I was so scared. And I had this phobia for going there, and I didn't realize why. I was so afraid to go and take they took tests at me once a month, and I had x-rays done on my kidneys every 3rd month since I was 3.5 years until I was 8.
But you were actually screaming, weren't you? You would play it when you were a child. You did not want to go to that doctor. You were screaming.
Yeah.
And that's like
no one realized.
Well,
no one realized why. And I mean, the thing is that most doctors work because they think that they have a calling, and they work to help people, and some of them don't. This one didn't. And I mean, I can swear that I'm not the only child who got abused by him. And
where did that take you then? Because then from that, then you went on to something else, then to self-destructive behaviors, didn't you? And I think I read it was the 15-year-old, but we don't want to tell the whole story because we actually want people to buy this book. We've got to be careful. So you went on to self-destructive behaviors then as well, didn't you? Tell us a little bit about
that. I started at a very young age when boys told me what they were supposed to do with a girl. Something inside of me said it was wrong. It was really wrong, and I wasn't supposed to do things, and I wasn't supposed to say yes to things at all. And I mean, my parents, they taught me that my body was supposed to be my body, and I was supposed to make my own decisions about how to be treated. But I mean, somewhere underneath everything, subconsciously I was so broken before this happened. So I heard my mouth say one thing, but my body and my mind said something else. And even though I said no, it ended up being a yes for someone else. And I thought that was the beginning of my journey, but it wasn't.
No.
And
it's quite interesting as well, because we had Paul Rees on Monday, and he was saying, and it is fact, is that the first 10 12 years of a child's life depicts what's going to happen. And this is exactly your journey then, really, from that doctor to boys then, and then you went on to partners then, and they were men then, and they weren't great relationships.
It's been most parts was if I met a man or a boy who actually treated me well, I got scared. I had no idea how to react, and I had no idea how to be what they expected from me, what they wanted me to be. When everyone else met me, my co-workers, my friends, my family, relatives, they said that I was always very determined and stubborn and always happy doing crazy stuff. Not not in a bad way, but I was kind of the clown, but I was always very well, stubborn.
It's sort of like an attention-seeking behavior, isn't it? Because there was something inside you was probably wanted to be loved in some sort of way.
Yeah, of course. And
we all
I was never accepted. And the thing is that when we moved, when I was in my early teenaging, I moved with my parents, and I usually most of my friends were guys. Because it was easier for me to be friends with boys than girls, because I didn't like the drama. And it was easier because then I knew what they expected from me, just to be friends. I didn't have to do anything, and I liked sports, and well, I was good in school, and I was good at sports, very good actually. And the girls in my new school, they didn't accept that, so I was bullied, very, very bullied. And my dad said to me when I was 6 years old, he said, "Well, if you gotta hit one sometime, hit once and hit hard enough so you don't have to do it again." And it turned out when I was on my 14th year, it turned out that I had to do it. I had to defend myself against all these words and everything else that happened, and I had enough. The problem was that I had no idea what to do. I knew what was expected of me when someone else hurt me or did something to me. But at this time, I hit so hard that I was blue for 2 months. And
but that was probably all the things that are actually pent up inside you, and it's just you didn't know how to deal with it, and then this is actually what happened. Okay. And then you went on to and this was something that I just couldn't believe, the abusive relationship that you went down the road of having, and that just blew me away. How
you mean the long one?
With and how
and
it's just, And you can see, can't you? You can see in a child's life, you can see your story and how it pans out. And if it's not actually dealt with, there's just one thing then, and this is what's happened to you, one thing after another. And then I think when I met you, then there was just there was this extreme power woman. That's how I saw you, as a power woman. Yeah. But then was that power woman the real, or were you hiding behind a mask there?
No, I think it was someone in progress, because I lived for so many years with this person, and the only thought I had about everything that happened at that time was that I had no idea what's going to happen to my kids if I'm not there. So it was easier for me to take everything on me than to risk anything else happen to my kids. Yeah, I mean, they were exposed as they were anyways, and they didn't need anything more. And it was easier for me to take the first whatever happened, if it was a punch or if it was a if he pushed me just to get through to them. Because the thing is that every time that he got mad or we didn't do as he expected, he got like a blackout. So I'm not sure if he actually knew what he was doing, but I couldn't let him get to the kids before he got to me. So I was
you were your
always
children.
I
You were
was
your
always
children.
standing in the way. Yeah.
You were the children.
Yeah. And when I wasn't home, my eldest daughter, she's 25 today. She and she took it on instead. So she tried to defend her small siblings at the time when I wasn't at home, and in the end, she couldn't take it anymore, and I didn't want her to. So in the end, she moved to my brother. Yeah. And at that time, we filed for a divorce 3 times.
Wow.
Who's done that? I wrote the papers 3 times.
3 times.
Yeah. But it took me about, this was 2014 when I got him out of the house. And when I moved, I felt that I had to show my kids that there is another way of living. There is another life, and we don't have to have it like this anymore. And when I got the opportunity to move 82 820 kilometers from him,
and
I took
that's
the
when you came
opportunity.
up to us, and that's when you came up this
That's
way.
when I
And I
couldn't get
remember
rid of
some of
him
the
before
stories.
that because he was there all the time. He was there all the time. I couldn't get rid of him, and I felt that I had to protect myself, and I had to protect my kids, and the system didn't help me at all.
So you were taking responsibility for not only yourself then, but you're also taking responsibility for your children then, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to.
That's amazing.
No one else did, so.
Nobody stands in the way of it. What's the saying? It's the saying, isn't it? It's like when a mama bear gets when somebody hurts her cubs, mama bear is there, isn't she?
Yeah, it is. And that's the problem when when you know the law. I mean, before I moved, I used to work actually at the Swedish state. I worked at the prison as a prison guard. So for me, not going above and beyond the Swedish law was sometimes really hard, because when someone is hurting your kids, you don't care.
No.
I mean, you got feelings and you got thoughts about what you want to do them. But you're not allowed to put it in actions. Then you have to go around the system, and you have to make sure that everything is by the law all the time. And sometimes, no.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. No. And it takes a lot of patience, and it takes a lot of time. And I couldn't get the help that I needed, and that's why I moved. I couldn't tell my kids why exactly. I had to make it like an adventure. I know we loved the snow, and we loved skiing, and we loved snowboarding, and I thought that why not? And I loved my job. I loved helping people as a massage therapist, and my calling in life was to make sure that other people was getting through and got help and reach their goals. And that's why I started to educate myself in psychology. I got a CBT coaching license, and an ACT license as well. And that's cognitive behavior therapy and acceptance therapy. So
let's just go from there now, because I'm gonna go back on that one now. So from there, then you left and you went back down to South, didn't you? You travelled back down to South.
I actually
and then things didn't go smoothly back down South either for you, did they? Something else came into your life.
The thing is that I trusted. I met a new man when I actually thought that I was ready to have a relationship again. I met a guy again, a man, and he had some trouble with his company at the moment, and we decided to keep my place up in Åre and to move down to live with him afterwards. And he's the second person that I've lived with. I only lived with my kid's dad before that. That's all. And I've always been very, very protective of my own space, my own private area. I didn't let anyone in close to me.
And that's understandable from what happened in your childhood. Now you can see that, can't you?
Now I know. Now I understand. It didn't work. We went there after 6 months, and we lived there for 3 months. And then all of a sudden, it turned out that he had a relationship with what I thought his ex-girlfriend at the time, but it wasn't. So he was living a double life at the time, and I drove my kids from a bit outside Stockholm down to a bit outside Norrköping on the Thursday, and I found out everything on the Sunday, and that's why I packed all my bags that I could. And a friend of mine helped me and picked me up and drove me down south. And it took me 3 weeks to arrange the move from there. And I had nothing left more than my kids' rooms. That's all. No furniture, no job, no money, no nothing. And thanks to my beautiful brother and his family who took us in, we could live in a room at his house before I found a job. And so I had an income, and so I could pay for an apartment again. And so we moved in December 2019, and everything started going really well at the beginning in 2020. But then my best friend committed suicide in February. But 2 weeks before that, my youngest daughter got sexual abused before that. So I had a little to take care of there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the summer came, and everything was working out really good. And I loved my life. I loved being a part of everyone else's life, and then what impact I was able to make. I was able to help other people about their persons, about their frightening things, their phobias, everything. I helped other people to learn how to live your life to the fullest, without any regrets, without any when you're scared about anything. I had to help them to overcome their fears, and to do that I had to forgive everything that happened in my life. And I don't forgive people or things that happens for them. I actually forgive people because of me, because I owe it to myself to continue, and I owe it to my surroundings and to my kids to show them how life is supposed to be.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you know that Nelson Mandela, and I've always got this in my head, when he left prison and he was going through his gates, he forgave his captors. And somebody said, why have you forgiven your captors? What they've done to you? He said, if I don't forgive them, I'm in jail for the rest of my life.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you just said. If you don't forgive what's happened to you in your life, then you're in that scenario for the rest of your life.
Yes. And that's really hard. It's a very easy thing to say, but it's a really hard thing to do. Really hard.
Oh, yeah. We'll go into that now. We'll go into some of these strategies that you've used. So everything was going well.
Yeah.
And then
all of a sudden, everything just ended, and I died.
Yeah, you did.
The 5th of November, 2020, I died.
Yeah.
And I woke up. Yeah, I did. And I woke up 2 days after that in a hospital without a movement, with such pain in my body, and I couldn't realize why. I couldn't understand anything. I was alone with all these monitors around me, computers, and there were things, needles and things around my body. And I tried to speak. I tried to call out to the staff around me that I had no idea at the moment that I was in a hospital. It was like a bad dream, like a nightmare.
It must have been awful to just wake up and not being able to, because sometimes I have these dreams, you have these dreams where you're calling and nothing's coming out of your voice and you panic.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the only thing, because I read that part in your book and I was like, it was quite suffocating for me, because I was reading it because I just thought, try to imagine you're waking up, you can't move. In real life, you can't move, you can't speak, you're in pain, you can't do anything about it. It must have been terrifying.
I really thought that it was a nightmare at the moment, But then slowly, I started to remember what happened.
Yeah.
And then
What
I
happened?
understood where I were. That I was at a hospital, and I couldn't speak. It was just a strange noise coming out. I couldn't move my head, and I couldn't move my right side at all. And I had a very, very strange movement on my left side from my neck and down. So I had about 40% movement on my left side. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
So what
Yeah.
happened to you?
I had a massive stroke.
Yeah.
The 5th of
At what
November.
and how old were you then when you had the stroke?
42.
42. Massive
Yeah.
stroke.
Yep.
You're saying the reasons for that is through all the stress, anxiety, and trauma that you'd actually been through.
I think so. I can't find any else. I can't find anything else why it should have happened. But the thing is that my doctors and they took tests and they did research and everything on it, and they said they can't find the reason why this happened. And
Because you were fit and you were healthy, you looked after yourself,
oh
you
my
were
God, yes.
exercising. I
Oh
remember that
yes.
of you. You were when I met you, you were super fit woman, you know. This is like
I
you
got
you
fitter.
did you get fitter?
It
There you go.
even got better than that.
It got better. I remember that. I
Yes, it
remember
did.
that. You
I
were
worked with.
well toned woman when I met you, so you got better, okay.
Yes, I did.
So that happened and
Yeah.
everything started, and then you started recovery, blah blah blah.
Yes.
And then something else happened.
Um. Now you have to help me.
Did you wasn't there you had your stroke and then something to do with your brain? Did you have or was that during the stroke?
No, that's a stroke. The stroke is a severe brain damages.
Okay,
It took
so you
yeah,
had the stroke, yeah. So
yeah,
you didn't
and
have like the stroke and then a brain aneurysm. You had a stroke and the brain damage. That it
yeah,
was the
at the
one
first,
day. It
yeah. But
wasn't
the thing
two.
is, no, I think I know now what you meant.
Yeah,
A year ago, I had a new one, but a small
yeah,
one. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And I was hospitalized for a week again, and then it took me about 4 weeks until I could start move again. So I fell back about a year in my progress.
yeah,
Before that, the thing is that when I left the hospital the first time after 3 months, I
mm,
was half side paralyzed, and I
mm,
had no movement on my right side at all. And
yeah,
I could speak, but not that good. And
mm,
the doctors told my parents, who picked me up and helped me, said that she's going to be in this wheelchair for the rest of her life, and she's not going to be able to use her right side at all. And I'm so sorry, but you're going to have to live with this. And then my dad said to them, well, then you don't
you,
know my daughter.
my daughter.
Yep.
You don't know my daughter.
No.
How is your progress now?
Well, I'm not in a wheelchair anymore.
Yeah,
So I'm walking, but with a very bad balance, and I'm working on it every day. But it's really really hard, and I have to work out, and I have to do this every day, because if I don't, I'm
yeah,
gonna fall back, and everything is gonna get worse. So I have to do this every day to make sure that I'm gonna be able in the future to. I mean, I got this dream, and the dream is to. This is so. I mean, I used to run in the forest, and loved life. I loved the nature. I loved hiking. And today, my dream is to just walk by myself without any help at all, by myself in the nature. That's all. I don't have to run again, but I have to walk. That's a dream, and I'm going to make it.
Your dream
One
is going
day.
to come true because
It
you've
will.
got this strong mindset. It's like what you just said then as well, is that I have to exercise every day. I have to
Yeah.
do something. Otherwise I fall back. So your why then of actually exercising is that your dream is that you want to walk in the forest. And
Yeah.
this is something that I love. That you say to people, everybody's dreams are different. And
Yeah,
just
they are.
because somebody's got a dream of climbing Mount Everest doesn't mean that
Yeah.
your dream of walking in the forest is anything less.
No,
It,
it's
it's,
not.
a, it's not anything less.
No, it's
Then you
not.
wrote a book, I'm Dying to Love, So Please Love Me.
Yes.
What was the reasoning behind this book?
The reason is that I've been through so many things in my life.
Yeah,
And I've always, before this happened to me, before I got this stroke, I was working with other people that had difficulties in their life with the personality, with the mental health, and with the physical health, just to learn people that to make sure that you got a healthy. For me, healthy is a physical health is that you have a healthy mental health. So you have to help your physical body with your mental mind, with the brain, and how to conquer that, and to explore. You can't be afraid to explore yourself. I mean, there's only one person that you have to live with all your life,
yeah.
and that's you. So why not be your best friend?
Wow.
That's yeah. But, well, the thing is that the way that I got treated before all this, and the way I treated myself, I would never ever think about treat someone else that way. But I
Exactly.
treated
What would you be
myself.
if you saw somebody doing what you did to themselves, what would you be
Yeah,
saying to them? So why, like you're so right. It's like what you start with yourself, don't you? You start with
yeah,
yourself love. You start with looking after yourself, your
yeah,
strong mindset,
yeah.
because why do you deserve less?
No, you
You don't
don't.
deserve any
That's
less.
the thing. Even when someone else is sometimes I'm using metaphors when I speak to others and when I'm coaching others. Um, I'm teaching them that I can play with your mind as much as I want to, actually. Because if I
Yeah,
tell you that the shoes that you are wearing are green, but they're actually blue, but
yeah,
if I tell you too many times that no, you're stupid, those are green, you're gonna
yeah.
start to believe
That's
that they
good.
are green.
Yeah,
In the end, well, maybe she's right. Maybe they really are green. I thought they were blue, but maybe they are green. And in the end, if I can convince other people that you are still wearing shoes that are green, even though they are blue, you're
yeah,
gonna start believing them in the end. And then you're gonna say, well, my shoes are green. And then I'm gonna start telling you, no, you're so stupid. Your shoes are blue.
yeah. It's
What makes
called a
that?
self-fulfilling prophecy. So the more things somebody tells you, the more you're going
Yes,
to believe them. And then the
yes,
other thing you touched on then is that you're programming your brain,
mm,
so if you're telling yourself those negative things all the time,
yes,
then your brain is going to believe it. So that's why it's good to have, like you said, to forgive you, to forgive other people for
yeah,
yourself. What sort of
Well,
things
I have to
did
forgive
you?
myself at the moment. In all these situations, I have to forgive myself as well, because I didn't know better.
No, this is
No.
what you knew. This is all you knew. And I think a lot of people would actually move into sort of like a cocoon with some of the mistakes they've made.
Yeah.
But we're human beings. Humans, we're not perfect. Everybody makes
No.
mistakes. All
Yes.
the things that come from who we are now are coming from our childhood. And like you've explained, that's why I've loved that you've actually gone through your journey today, is that there's reasons behind why this is all happening to you.
Yeah.
But now you've delved deep into yourself and you've figured out
Yeah.
some of these things. And something I loved that you said before you came on was, I love to be happy.
Yeah.
I love to, yeah. And you said a story about you actually going, because you haven't got an inside toilet and you went outside and a few things happened to you, which
Yeah. Just a few.
just a few things happened to you. We won't go
Just a
into
few.
everything. But
No.
you were telling me the story and you were laughing at yourself, and
Yeah.
it's such an amazing thing to do. Is like you're going through this. I'm either going to laugh or I'm going to cry and feel sorry for myself here. Poor
Yeah.
me, you know.
Yeah.
That that what what sort of mindset? Where is your mind right now? Where is your brain now with life right now, on positivity, on strong mindset, on where you're going?
The thing is that every day you can make choices, new choices every day. You got new possibilities, and um, every day that happens every day. I mean, I don't know tomorrow what happens today.
Mm.
I have no idea how I'm gonna react tomorrow. So worrying about what's gonna happen tomorrow won't um uh
Solve your feelings of today.
yeah. So yesterday I had experiences that can make me make new choices today. Um
Mm.
we always think that we have to be steady in our thoughts and in the way of living, and what kind of um, oh, I lost the word, principles that you have. The thing
Mhm.
is that everything uh, changes every day.
Mm.
You can still have your goal and you can still have your dream, but you got new possibilities every day to change it, to change
Mhm.
the way to reach them. And um, I've realized that if I tell my mind that this is not happy, I'm not happy, uh, this is not going well, I already now today tell my mind that this is not going to happen. This is not going to work out tomorrow because I'm feeling sick, or I'm in pain, or nothing ever happens to me. And in
Mhm.
that kind, I narrow my mind too much, and in that state, I narrow my person and my ability to to really succeed.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and it's
So
easier for me, for the person who has my handicap. It's easier to laugh at it.
yeah.
I mean, like I tell my children, I have to fall down to know how to get up again. Because if I don't, I have no idea how to do it. When I
You
fall
have to,
over,
yeah, and it's like failure is the first attempt in learning. So
yeah, of course it
we
is.
have to, and one of the things you have said
It,
as well is that you questioned, didn't you? Why are all these things happening to me? what is the purpose? And
Before.
what is the purpose, do you think?
Yeah.
What's the legacy?
The purpose is for me, I mean, no one should have to go through everything that I have, that my kids have at all, not even a little. But the only thing that I can make the most of it is to help others to maybe overcome their fears and their obstacles in life instead with my experiences. So I can use my life and what happens to me and what happened to me for other people as a parachute.
Love it. I love it.
I
amazing.
I can't say any other reason actually, because I wouldn't be able to survive, and I wouldn't have survived this stroke if I didn't think like I do. And I think that I was strong before this, but I really, really have to rely on myself and my strength today as something else. And the woman before me today, the woman before the stroke, she was fighting very much. And I don't want her fight to be forgotten. It's like I have to honor that person by continuing, and my legacy to my kids and to the people around me is to show them that we get all different um, 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 every people have different different states that they have to live with, and and everybody needs oh, this is what happens when
I know.
yeah.
But you know what, you've done so well, and
Thank you.
you are such a strong, inspirational woman. I'm so pleased to know you. And not only
you.
have you've had your stroke, you're Swedish, so you're speaking in you're not speaking in your mother tongue. So wow, I'm blown away, because you know that's really impressive. That's really impressive, and you've got the confidence to do it. But I'll be putting the link in as well of your book. Is it out right now on Amazon, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we'll put the link in as well, and it's called "I'm Dying to Live, So Please Love Me," and it truly is a fantastic story. And actually, what you've actually said today is not everything. There's more in the book, so you have to buy the book.
Yeah, it's a lot of things actually, and the thing is that there will be another book now in September.
Wow.
Yeah. The thing is that I've written 2 books in Swedish and 1 book in English, and I'm gonna do the 3rd one in English
in Japanese.
As well.
In Japanese.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yes,
I'm not there yet. I'm
just
not
to make
there
things
yet.
a little bit, just to spice things up a bit. You know?
Yes. Why not?
So I know. Thank you so much for coming on and inspiring us. And take care of you. Lots of love.
I
Thank you.
will. Thank you.
Thank you. Mwah.